Well, even though I attend every school board meeting, like I said, sometimes it's still difficult for me to figure out what our district's priorities actually are right now. And I think that's one of the real problems going on. In my opinion, our district is being mismanaged, and there's really a disconnect between the community and the school board, between the community and our leaders. If you go to any school board meeting, what happens is there are community members, people from different schools who show up and literally sit there and beg the school board to listen to them, to take action on their behalf. Unfortunately, the school board doesn't listen. We also have a school board that votes unanimously on almost every issue. I don't think that's the way we should be doing business. I think there needs to be at least a loyal opposition that's going to push our leaders to make better decisions. Some of the priorities that I would put into place is, first, we need to prioritize public education in our city. Charter schools are not public schools. They are different than public schools. And one of the problems going on right now with our school board and our school district is, even though there's been no decision made by the school board, our school district has started calling charter schools public schools. And there's this confusion between the two, even from our district leadership, where now charter schools are included in our district materials, our school finder, our options guides. This is not something we ever decided as a community, and I care about our whole city, I care about the futures of all of our kids, but as a school board member, my number one responsibility is going to be to public schools and public education, because that's who the school board is charged, that's what the school board is charged with providing oversight with our public schools. The school board has no oversight ability over charter schools. And so some of the priorities I would make is, first, I would bring back a committee system to the school board so we really can engage in a deeper way. Another thing I would do is I would end all this talk of a charter compact, which they call the equity pledge, and I would make sure that we prioritize our public schools first. What we've done in the city is we've abandoned just about every public school below 580, and it doesn't have to be that way. In the hills, they don't have charters all over the place. It's only been put in the flats. And as somebody who's lived in Oakland my whole life, I understand what it means when there's one set of schools below 580 and one set of schools above 580. We really need to do better. And in my opinion, what's really happened in a lot of cases is, after the state takeover, we had a lot of people come into Oakland who weren't from here, who came into Oakland with a lot of great educational ideas. But it wasn't based on anything that we were actually asking for here in Oakland. And again, it's a disconnect. It breaks my heart when I look at the school board and there's not graduates of Oakland Public Schools on the school board. It breaks my heart when our longtime administrators in Oakland, who I grew up with, who came up through the system, are purged out of the district. Like with what we saw with Mr. K at Westlake Middle School recently. We need to turn this around. We need to, at every level of our schools, from every employee to the schools, every student, every family, needs to feel like they're valued. We need to have a school system and a city that's oriented towards the people here. We really need to do better. And so instead of taking an action that's going to show everyone that we're going to invest in our schools, what this school board has done instead is come up with policies like the Quality School Development Policy, which, when that was rolled out, they announced to the community that these 5 schools were failures, so we had to improve them. Well, how are you going to improve the school when you're announcing to the community that those schools are failures to start off the process? If anything, they've hurt those schools even more. So when we see at Fremont High now has a charter school placed on their campus starting next year, even while they're under the Quality School Development Policy. Fremont High is going to have its 3rd principal in 3 years next year. This is not doing anything to help stability or continuity, and really this isn't what we need in our city. We need to invest in our leaders, we need to have homegrown leaders, and we need to reorient the city towards those of us who are here instead of looking for our solutions outside of our city.